Hey guys, I'm Eric, and this is your favorite retro show, Retro Gaming Nerds. Alright guys, so we're going to be playing another alien shooter this week here on Retro Gaming Nerds, and that game is Konami's classic arcade Gyruss. It could be Gyruss, whatever you want to call it, I don't care. Gyruss. Anyway, the premise of the game is just another shooter like Galaga, Galaxian, etc., ad nauseum. However, there's a little trick to this. You're circling around this here screen with the aliens coming at you. It's really kind of cool, and it's a really interesting effect. It works fairly okay on the 2600. It's not the greatest, but it does work. And we're gonna have some fun playing this game because what the mission is you're trying to get back to Earth and protect Earth from being destroyed by the evil aliens that are hell-bent on destroying and conquering and taking our resources and our women. Anyway, so let's go ahead and get playing this great game on my Atari 7800. This is Gyruss for the Atari 2600 by Barker Brothers. Alright guys, so we're going to play Gyruss on the 7800 for the 2600, of course, with my trusty 2600 controller in hand. Let's get this game going. Do you hear that? Theme song. As you see, I'm circling around trying to destroy the aliens. The scaling effect sucks, but oh well. One thing I'm noticing, and you're also probably noticing, there is no laser blast sounds, no explosion sounds, just graphics doing their thing. A okay starfield flying in at us kind of thing. Trying to control your ship is a little weird. The best way to explain it is each corner of the screen represents a certain portion of the joystick location. So that kind of helps. Throughout the game, instead of actually getting sound effects, we have music, classical music to be more precise. It's kind of a cool concept, but honestly I'd rather hear the explosions and the space effects of the aliens and stuff. But beggars can't be choosers, I suppose, especially with a game that is this in depth. Moving on to the next stage in this level, and yes, this game actually has levels and stages rather than just you sitting there blasting aliens and then the screen refreshing. You have different locations and different difficulty levels going in with those. Yes, I know most games are that way, but the way it is presented is slightly different. I don't know about you, but listening to this chiptune version of a classical song just isn't doing it any justice whatsoever. It's not helping the game much. Now there isn't a lot going on the screen, and it kind of does hurt the game a little bit. But that is Neptune. We have reached Neptune for our mission, and I do believe it is a boss fight at this point, if you want to call it a boss fight. What is cool though, I mean, just like Galaga, the aliens have a pattern. Once you learn said pattern, destroying them is relatively easy. And you can do it pretty quickly. What is nice is if you know how to do the controls properly, you don't run into too many issues controlling your ship. Again, though, I like everything that plagues the 2600 controller. Your hand is going to cramp after a while. I remember as a kid getting calluses on the inside of my hand along the crease of the thumb and index finger. And, you know, as a kid, you have a callus in that spot, you get made fun of for doing certain things that most boys that age tend to experiment with anyways. But no, that was not the case. Wrong joystick. Oh, and it looks like I got hit and destroyed there, so I lost a life because I wasn't paying attention and making bad jokes. Moving on. Now this is one of those games that I do have a problem back in the day where they like to score big right off the bat, so it really didn't feel as cool. Getting a score of 100 for every ship I destroy, okay, big deal. So you're always going to have a 0 at the end of your score, or in this case 2 zeros. But 43,800 sounds impressive, but really you think about it, it's not. But I'm continuing on with my great mission of defending the solar system from the evil Gyruss alien things that are swarming about in space. Killing the aliens, killing the aliens. Now, what did they really want? Nobody asked them. I mean, we assume they're on their way to Earth to, you know, steal our resources and enslave our women and eat our children and stuff. But is that actually true? Is that accurate? What if they just wanted a hug and I shot first? That's just mean and racist. Who am I to say otherwise? That these aliens were actually hell-bent on our destruction? Unless they're Martians, and then Martians are all dicks. Just saying. I will destroy the Earth with my powerful space weapon. As long as that bunny does not get in the way. Okay, yes. As a poor Marvin Martian, I'm sorry. Anyway, you're getting the gist of the game here, and honestly, it's not horribly difficult. At least not yet. These are the easier levels. Once you get up in the levels, it will get a little faster, a little bit crazier, a little bit more difficult. But one of my biggest problems right now is just the constant music. No real sound effects. We need sound effects. That's part of the fun in playing these games, is the booms and the blasts and the explosions and the sound of our ship warping into space. But the fact that Parker Brothers was able to accomplish this game on the Atari 2600 really is a testament to their programmers regarding developing this game. I mean, Atari tried to bring Tempest to the 2600 and it failed. It even failed coming to the 5200. And it was all because of going around in circles. That was their biggest problem. And I would assume also trying to replicate a 3D polygonal perspective based off of the game. And this one doesn't really do that. It just scales for the most part. Or at least it tries. Because some of these are, you know, the alien ships and my ship turn into looking like some really demented triangles. I mean, triangles that have real problems. The hecticness of this classical piece that they use for this game, though, it does kind of give you that sense of urgency and spectacle that the game was shooting for. But what would have helped is if they would have done a little bit more to alter the soundtrack. Now, as you saw earlier, there's some things like that right there that was flying up towards the upper left-hand screen. That, or right there that I missed, was an asteroid or meteor trying to run into me. Which is kind of cool because it's really helping solidify the fact that I'm not just going around in circles in space trying to kill the aliens, but in fact we are traveling through space. I am down to my last life at this point. I'm not sure when extra lives kicked in on this. I would assume at the 200 or at the 100,000 point, which I just hit and it doesn't matter. We have reached the end of the game because I have died. But it's a respectable score of 100 or I want to say it's 113,700. Sure, I'll take it. Alright guys, so we just got done playing Gyruss for the Atari 2600 on my faithful 7800. Now, yes, as we all heard in the audio, let's tackle that first. It's just a song played over and over and over and over and over. And did I say over yet? Again? Yeah. It's okay. I mean, it does add some semblance of urgency and excitement, but there's a complete lack of whatever. There's no explosions, there's no pew-pews, there's nothing except the song on repeat, endlessly looping. So yes, that is my biggest complaint about this game from Parker Brothers on the Atari 2600, that you just don't have any audio cues, nothing, just music. The other thing, the graphics aren't bad. Keep in mind, this is doing things that the Atari 2600 really was never expected to do or do well. And that was circling around with scaling and rotating effects with a star field forming in the background. We actually had something happening in the background. And the way the game was achieving all this was actually impressive. I mean, it actually worked. The arcade version, if you've ever had the opportunity to play Gyruss in the arcades or on the NES or any other console, or even in the modern compilations that appear on all the modern consoles for the last I don't know how many years, it was an impressive game. It was Galaga in 3D or something. So yeah, you got some distorted looking triangles from time to time, but it worked and it was easy to follow. The controls were actually responsive as heck. I mean, once you figured out that on, let me grab my 2600 controller real quick and use this as an example. And by the way guys, this here was from the Flashback 2 Atari 2600 retro console. Even though it's original hardware, it's designed to be just like it, except you can take this off. And I'm going to do that right now to help show. Each side of the screen, like if we look here and use the controller as representing the screen, when you were up on that portion of the screen, it basically meant using this portion here. God, I cannot point, it's hard. But basically the quadrants are split like, you know, the top and the left and the right and the bottom, just like on the screen. So if you're up here with the joystick, your ship is being controlled on the same side. And sorry if I confuse any of you with my horrible pointing. But once you figure that out, the game was easy. As you saw, I just suck at talking and playing at the same time. So anyways, guys, that was fun. We got some great games coming up for you. Like I said in the last episode, I really want to bring to you guys Star Raiders, Solaris, and other awesome titles that came out for the Atari 2600 that I grew up with. Keep in mind, Star Raiders is my #1 favorite Atari 2600 title. And it's also my favorite 5200 title. And I don't know which one we're going to play. I'll decide later. So guys, remember, we're playing more games on classic consoles. I am Eric, and this is Retro Gaming Nerds.